Hello, and welcome back to the Victory Lap of Lothric, my semi-definitive Let's Play of Dark Souls 3, where we give a good crack at the lore, and we take a look at all the different facets of the gameplay, and generally have a good time. Since the Dark Souls 1 remaster has been announced, I feel that this is an appropriate time for me to come back to this playthrough, so I can say my final fond farewell to Dark Souls 3, a game that I love and will continue to love well past the end of its lifespan. Obviously I won't be giving up on the game completely, but when Dark Souls 1 comes out I will be going over to that for a good while to give that a good go. But if you like, I'll put the link in the comments with the playlist of my first 4 episodes of this playthrough. Basically, we're just doing a nice casual lore through with some PvP in it, and just having a good time. So yeah, last time we got invaded by our first twink, rocking the Dark Hand, of course, and the Avalanche. Oh, that reminds me, better ember up. And let's put on the dried finger. So we got invaded by a twink, and we got our shit pushed in for our troubles, which was good fun. So we were on our way originally to go pick up the Mad Covenant. So I think that's what we should go and do now. We've already picked up the Estus Shard from the burning tree, so let's just ignore those guys for the time being and carry on our merry way. Hopefully we can get to the to the Covenant before we get invaded again. Deal with these. Let's open up this door first of all. So you can see we've actually, it's sort of one of the things I really like about this game. This little area here, we've got sort of hay, bales of hay and stables, and it makes you feel like this is a real, this is sort of a real place. People used to live and they used to work here. Be they undead or no, this was an active community, and I think that's sort of. These little touches go quite a long way in sort of immersing the player in the game. This guy, one of the two of the thralls in this area to drop a flamberge, and I've never been able to get one on the first try. It's very rare that I'm able to farm up a flamberge off these guys. It's a very good weapon, very good greatsword. Right, so you've opened that door. Let's go get the mound. Thrall trap. It's a nasty little ambush if you get caught with your pants down. Those little thrall puffer dart things do not an insignificant amount of damage. Alright, so let's go deal with the guys up on the roof first. If you take your time, use the environment for cover, you can deal with the ambush. More fire bombs. Very cool. Right, there's one over there. Oh, he's dead. Yeah. Right. There's an NPC around the corner there that everyone always misses, and he only has one line of dialogue. But we need to go talk to him anyway, because he gives us some clues about the Mound-making Covenant and how to access it. Let's pick that up. Try and avoid any fall damage. Get our our second plank shield of the playthrough. So we started as a deprived class, so we can sort of branch out into different stats and do quite a varied build, which is something I want to do with this playthrough. Right, so there's this guy. I don't think at this point you've encountered one of these cage spider guys before, so you're not expected to be hostile on it straight away. So let's go chat to him.
Another Nana disappeared. So Granton carries a cage. He ever has his cage. And Nana's never coming back. So come into the cage and become Nana's shade.
So he only ever says that line, these lines of dialogue. Another Nana's disappeared, so grandson carries the cage. So Nana, I I assume, making a sensible guess of it, means Nana, as in grandmother. So another grandmother has disappeared, so her grandson carries the cage. Oh, here we go. Dark Spirit hot legs. Right, well, let's just hang out here for a second. So yeah, another grandmother's disappeared, so her grandson carries the cage.
So grandson carries a cage. He ever has his cage. And Nana's never coming back.
Grandma's never coming back.
So come into the cage and become Nana's shade.
So come into the cage and become her shade. Right, so that's giving us a clue to the location of the Moundmaker's Covenant. Oh, Hot Legs returned home. Well, that's fortunate. Okay, cool, excellent. That works out well for us. Yeah, so he's telling you how to join the Moundmaker's Covenant. So come into his cage and become Nana's shade. So we come up to the first undead slave worker here, and he's carrying a cage on his back. If you've gone the other way, you encounter these guys, and they will have like planks on their back. So this one is sort of, his model is made to be a little bit different. So and he's non-hostile as well. So you, if you go up and kill him, I think you lock off the Moundmaker's Covenant for the rest of the playthrough. But first, let's get this item. There is a way to get this item without knocking it down there and having to go all the way fucking around. The best way to do it. Let's see if we can do it without fucking killing ourselves. Get behind it. Oh, fucked it up. Come on, don't kill me now. There we go. Flamestone plate ring. Not incredibly useful for this early part of the game, especially against the PvE. The absorption boosting rings do some good work, so we'll pop that on. Right, let's go and join the Moundmakers. Oh dear, we're getting invaded again. Oh shit! Come on, let me in! Let me in! Don't let the invader kill me, please. Okay, maybe we can't do that just yet. Yeah, alright, we took too long. Okay, that's fine. Let's carry on. Rotonic. Let's see if we can't carry on with the game. Hopefully he won't be quite as twinked out as the first guy. Blimey. Oh, there he is. Hello. Oh, he's not playing. Okay. Alright, so he's using the Irithil straight sword. Yeah, okay, so he knows how to parry. I might be able to do some unlock backstabs on this guy. Oh! Fuck me. Alright, he doesn't look too twinked out. Oh, fuck me. And he's got a dagger. Oh! Right, I ran into that one. Oh, fuck, got me on the rollout. GG, sir. Yet again, no point down. Very disappointed. Right. Okay, let's ember up. Let's put on the dried finger again. Let's see if we can make it to the Moundmakers before getting fucking killed. Yeah, well, I didn't do too well on that. Alright. Oh, fuck me. Oh, ran out of stamina. So I'm all shook up now. See, this is why invasions are such a good idea. They really just, like, especially a single host, like at these low levels, invasions are really good. Oh, hello. Oh, Thrallhood. Excellent. A fighter PL hat. Right, let's read the lore on this. Hood used to cover the head of lesser folk who were sent to work as slaves throughout Lothric. Also occasionally used to shame and humiliate criminals. Which is why Grey Rat has one. Because he's a criminal. Right. We won't be putting that on because we don't want to be mistaken for fighter. Then maybe we'd get too many point downs. Right, let's just run past all these thralls. Yep, sorry guys, not interested in fighting you. I want to get my souls back, and I want to go join the mound makers. Right. Right, thrall ambush. Come on guys. Let me through. I need to get to the mound makers before the invaders get me. Whoop. Oh shit. Throwing knife. Fucking skill. Right. Oh, there we go. You're dead. One more over there. Right. Let's go to the roof. Right. Piss off. Those little bastards are so annoying. Oh bugger! It's him again. No. Right. Okay. Let's try it. Let's try it again. Do we have seed? No, we don't. Okay, that sucks. All right. Let's try it this time. Let's try it again. Maybe if I look pitiful, maybe he'll maybe he'll go easy on me. Please, sir, I'm not a ganker. Please don't kill me. I just want to join the mound makers. Right, where is he? I'm really not interested in fighting, going back into these mobs, so I'm just going to continue along the other path until he decides to show up. Is that not there? No, that's just a message. Right. Alright, fuck him. Maybe he'll get bored and go home. Let's carry on. We will get the mound makers eventually. When I kill a few enemies, maybe he'll find out where I am. Where are you? Please be kind. Ooh. Caduceus round shield. We'll have a look at that after the invader's gone off. If I die. We can always get that bonfire actually. But that would be quite useful. Yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Let's heal up. Go for the plunge. Ah, nice. Right, those hollows up there can chuck fire bombs like that. And there's explosive barrels down there as well, so they can really do some damage if you're not paying attention. Ooh, some summon signs around here. We won't summon. If we die, it doesn't matter. Jesus. Ah, Jesus. I remember when he was a Dark Souls player. And Simon. Jesus and Simon. Was he one of the disciples? I can't remember. Right, let's just head up here then. We can get, we can go find Cornix actually. Yeah, I'll be there. Get some use out of this ember. Before we get eventually fucking slaughtered by the invader. Whoop. So these are the guys that were chucking fireballs at us. You see those explosive barrels are stacked up there, so if you... Oh, he's gone home. Alright, cool. Nice. Alright, let's go get Cornix since we're here, and then we'll make another attempt at the mount makers. Yeah, so they're throwing bombs down at those barrels down there, and there's also those non-hostile hollows are also down there as well. So again it shows the villagers killing those non-hostile hollows. So they're obviously two different sort of factions of people. You see over there, like a torture rack. You see people put on those wheels, used as a form of torture. I'm sure I've seen those in history textbooks. Oh, you can see a crystal is over there. Excellent. So they've not been kind to their fellow hollows. So I can't believe that invader didn't find me. I was killing loads of enemies. Get a hand axe. All right, let's read the Caduceus round shield and get the hand axe. Standard round wooden shield. It is decorated with twin snakes, an ancient symbol of the Great Swamp. So it's one of the starting pieces of equipment for the Pyromancer. Wooden shields are light, manageable, and offer relatively high magic absorption, which it does. 63% magic absorption, just like the Warrior's Round Shield, Crimson Palmer. The Plank Shield doesn't offer that much magic defense, so you lie, Shield, you lie. East-West Shield even better. So if you're having trouble with the Crystal Sages, obviously all their attacks are purely magic based. I think except for the melee. So you just equip one of these wooden shields. It does a lot better than something like the Kite Shield or even the Knight Shield will do. And we got ourselves a hand axe, a crude hand axe that serves both as a weapon and a tool of many uses. Favoured by pyromancers of the Great Swamp, this axe has a short range but only moderate weight and reasonable damage, easily wielded and more powerful than it appears. It is a very good weapon. It's not something I've used, but I've seen people use it, and does quite a lot of damage if you've got if you've allocated your stats correctly. You can. It's a nice, quick, offhand weapon you can use with a unique moveset. So obviously we've got two items associated with the Great Swamp, located very close to each other: the hand axe and the Caduceus round shield. And so we also have a Great Swamp Pyromancer. Master, jumping, don't you dare! And he's been placed in this cage in the undead settlement. So how he came to be in this cage, somewhat of a mystery.
Aha, unkindled, are we? Welcome to my abode. I am Cornix, an old pyromancer. A crow in his cage, as you see.
A crow.
But here we are, an encounter for the ages. I hear the unkindled make for fine vessels. Care to learn some pyromancies from this old man?
Yes, I think we will. We might dabble in a little bit of pyromancy.
Ah, most wise. A chance encounter should not be squandered. To reiterate, I am Cornix of the Great Swamp. The pleasure is mine.
The pleasure is mine, Cornix. So, one of the take-home bits of dialogue from that, as he said, a crow in his cage, and we all know how Miyazaki and the guys who make Dark Souls enjoy their crow lore. I mean, obviously, conjures up images of Velka and the Painted World and the crow people there. Obviously, the blacksmith, I can't remember her name now, Ornifex from Dark Souls 2 was one of the crow people. Is Simon still here? Sorry, Simon. So, very interesting that he says a crow in his cage specifically. Oh, gone the wrong fucking way. So yeah, unfortunately, Cornix doesn't have a great deal of a storyline. He gives you a few little tidbits of lore when you give him the pyromancy tomes to learn more spells. But apart from that, he doesn't say an awful lot. There is an NPC quest relating to him. Oh, with Great Swamp Cuculus, but we'll get onto that when we get to the Demon Rounds. Right, let's deal with this guy. Oh, fuck me. Right. Takes a couple of hits to break him out of his poison. There we go. These guys are undead slaves working in the settlement. They're carrying what seems to be pots of meat. Ground up bodies, probably. This poor chap didn't make it. So, I think this guy is another non-hostile. Yeah, so he's there coveting the fire clutch ring. Let's read the lore on that. We won't put it on because it lowers absorption. Ring depicting a hand grasping a red stone increases fire attack but compromises damage absorption. An old fable in Londor claims that the lure of the clutch rings reaches out into the crestfallen, who might otherwise be overcome by despair. So, interesting that this hollow looked to be in despair. He was all huddled over it, you know, head in his hands. Londor, the land of hollows, you know. I think this was a Dark Souls 2 item originally, introduced in the DLC. Increases fire attack but compromises damage absorption. Nerfed in PvP, I believe. Sorry, mate. so it's often not worth it because the damage absorption is quite high. Let's have a look, see what it is. Yeah, it's like 7-8%, something like that. So I don't think it's worth it. Maybe if you're running a pure spellcasting build, maybe the plus rings are more useful. But I've never played with them. Right, let's try again for the mound makers. Let's hope we don't get invaded on the way. Right. At least the thralls are dead now, so I don't have to worry about them. Full damage. Never mind. Come on, let me in, please. Yes, thank Christ. So, we've been brought down here, far underneath the undead settlement, to a shrine tended by Lothric, Holy Knight Lothric. And we saw him at the end of the cutscene there, kneeling and praying, making offerings to the shrine there. How exactly the undead slave brought us here, because obviously when we fight the curse-rotted Greatwood, we literally break through the ceiling of this and end up down here. How he brought us here and managed to dump the cage is a mystery. Maybe there's another hidden path that is known only to him. Maybe up there and he just dumps us down. It would make sense, given that all the cages lie underneath these wooden structures. Quite possibly. So you can see all the many offerings have been brought down here to Lothric. All the very many body bags. So are these undead slaves working for the mound makers, or for Lothric, or are they working for the evangelists? Because it seems to be that they're working for both. And if we look back at that cage spider's dialogue, another nan has disappeared, so grandson carries the cage. So the guy who brought us here was a grandson of the grandmother, the nana. And so grandson carries the cage. So he's carrying the cage, and we know that Lothric is a grandfather. So we got a grandfather, we got a grandmother, and we have a grandson. So are they part of the same family? You know, who knows? Because we also have Cirrus, who we find out is a granddaughter to Lothric as well. Yeah. Okay. Let's go speak to Lothric. Get this first. War God Wooden Shield. So this, I believe, was a Dark Souls 2 item. It belonged to the Lion Knights you found in the Shaded Woods. Wooden shield reinforced with metal, the largest of the wooden medium shields. The bizarre pattern featured on the shield is the mark of a mad god, revered as a god of war in remote regions. Ferossa. The Lion Knights of Ferossa. So this is a direct Dark Souls 2 link. I'm not sure about the mark of the mad god, if that is a reference to the lore in Dark Souls 2. I'd have to go back and have a look at the Ferossan set, the Lion Knight, the Lion Mage set, the Lion Knight set. But yeah, that's directly out of Dark Souls 2. And another thing that's directly out of Dark Souls 2 is Lothric's shield. That is the mirror shield. That is the shield that Lucatil uses. So we've got 2 links to Dark Souls 2 right here. The Wargood shield and the mirror shield. Ah, old codger. And then, oh, if I only had an old deer. Very good.
Well, what's happened? This pit is for hollows, not for the likes of you sane folk. Or perhaps you are a hollow, posing as otherwise?
No, I'm not a hollow. I'm perfectly sane.
No, no, of course you're not. That's what you mad fools always say. But we'll all be mad, soon enough. And should you be undead, well, all the more so.
So no matter what we say, he knows we're mad. If we say no, he says, of course not. Of course you're fucking mad. And if we say yes, he's like, oh yes, good. Of course, it's good to know who you are.
Beware, the shackles of the gods are fragile. You might need this. Etch it on your heart if you feel your sanity slipping.
So he gives us the item to join the Mound Makers. The shackles of the gods are fragile. The link to the gods is fragile.
Come here to pile up your victims, for that will form your anchor. You'll see when you go mad. They'll be your family.
Come here to the shrine to pile up your victims. So you can see all around the shrine, you get all the skulls. These are all the vertebra shackles that the Mound Maker followers come and pile up around the shrine. Another addition to the family. I really like the lore behind the Mound Maker's Covenant. It's a little bit unfortunate that the actual PvP aspect of it wasn't as fully fleshed out as a lot of people hoped for. So, but let's read the Covenant item. A malformed vertebra found by the mad, with a queer symbol on the inside, proof of the shackles of the gods. Equipped to pledge oneself to the Mound Maker's Covenant. The Mound Makers wish only to add to their mounds, becoming mad spirits whether summoned as cooperators or invaders. They are blithe to those around them, for in their minds any kill might lead to another shackle. So it states there as fact proof of the shackles of the gods. So when they're talking about shackles, they're talking about being imprisoned by the gods, whether it's being imprisoned in a literal sense or imprisoned sort of by their doctrine, the way of the white and sort of revering Gwyn and all that. And so by removing these shackles, they are removing, the Mound Makers feel like they are helping people, and they're also helping themselves by removing the vertebra, which they see as a shackle, which is the key to their link to the gods. And whether that is true, whether this vertebra is literally what links people to the gods is known, it's not known if that's true or not. Right.
You'll go mad one day, but not today. Take my advice. Use this bone and leave this place. This pit is for hollows, and for the occasional madman fond of piling up victims. You've better things to do, I'd hope.
So he gives us a homeward bone as a gameplay consideration in case we don't have one. Because otherwise the only way we get out is by Dark Sign, and then we'd lose all our souls, which would suck. Yeah, so he's that sort of sly sarcasm where he's like, I think you've got better things to do, I hope. So yeah, he's expecting you to join the Mound Makers. Interesting to see those these malformed, almost childlike sort of figures. I swear I've seen these before. Maybe I've seen those in Dark Souls 2. But anyway, let's get out of here. Right, let's go back to the shrine actually. There's some things to do there. Right. So, what have we got to do? Right, we've got to give in the Estus Shard. That's very important. We can talk to Cornix, and we need to give Loretta's Bone over to Grey Rat. So let's go do that then. First of all, let's just see what the handmaid's got. Oh yeah, she hasn't got much, so fuck it, I'm not interested. Let's give this shard to Andre.
Did
Yes, please.
pretty.
All of that. Right, let's give the bone shard to Grey Rat.
Oh, hello, you're back. And in one piece.
Right. There is actually a piece of dialogue you can get if you kill Grey Rat, which I might do in a later part, and you'll get not confirmation of Loretta's identity, but a clue as to who she was. So I might add that into a later part. Anything else I want to top up on at the moment? I might as well get more embers actually, if I'm going to get invaded and killed.
Heavens, she was already dead. Thank you. I'm not surprised, though. Almost a relief, really. You can keep the ring as, well, a little trinket of thanks, I suppose.
So he had feared that she had already been dead, and by bringing her this bone, which was a belonging of Loretta, it's confirmed his fears that yes, she is indeed deceased. Right, let's see if he's got anything else to say.
You can keep the ring as, well.
Yeah, okay, so when we leave Firelink and we come back, we'll be able to get our sweet gesture, and eventually we can send him off to pillage as he gets over the morning.
And stay safe. Oh, this place is a bore.
I think this place is quite cool, Grey Rat. Just don't be so mean. Right, hello Cornix, old pyromancer.
Ah, there you are, unkindled one. I wish to express my gratitude for trusting a lowly pyromancer and allowing me to gaze upon this majestic flame. As promised, I will impart pyromancies to you. But first, you will need a flame of your own.
Thank you very much, Cornix.
Careful you don't burn yourself with it.
Oh, ho, ho. You are such a wit. Right.
To learn pyromancies, you must vow to become my pupil. I know, but such is the way of the world. Respect your elders and so on. And pyromancy, of course, is no exception.
So the student-teacher role when it comes to pyromancers is very important. It gets mentioned sort of throughout the Souls games. Sort of there you'll meet a pyromancer and he will talk about his master and his teacher, and this is something that's sort of a recurring theme through the game.
Oh, we'll need a pyromancy tome to learn more advanced pyromancies. Though unorthodox, that would be the most expedient way to make progress. If this were the Great Swamp and you had the luxury of time, we could have trained you the hard way.
Why on earth would you train someone the hard way where you can just give someone a book and then you could instantly learn the spells, Cornix? What is your deal?
To learn pyromancies, I know...
Yeah, okay, cool. Right, so the pyromancy flame is reinforced by Titanite shards this time. In Dark Souls 1 you just spent souls to upgrade it, and in Dark Souls 2 you used fire seeds, I seem to remember. But in this one you actually have to use Titanite shards, which, you know, it is what it is really. So we're probably going to end up using a few pyromancies, so let's just upgrade this to +1 for now. And he also sells the pyromancer starting set. I'm not all that interested. It's pretty poor fashion, but the pyromancer crown's pretty good. Let's just get it all just in case. Alright, I can't afford that yet. And so he can teach us fireball, elementary pyromancy that is often first learned, and then we have fire surge, the PvP meta's favourite pyromancy. Pyromancer of Cornix of the Great Swamp emits a constant stream of fire. Cornix is a venerable pyromancer of an older mould, said to have restored a number of spells lost to the past, amongst which this is the most well known. And then Great Combustion. Pyromancy which improves upon combustion, creates a powerful giant flame in hand. Very powerful yet simple spell to use. Pyromancy is to at once know the fear and longing, the resultant power of which depends on both the caster's intelligence and faith. Pyromancy is to at once know fear and longing. Oh right, yeah, okay. And then we have Flash Sweat. Unique pyromancy, the Great Swamp, associated with Carmina. And Carmina is someone that is mentioned in the Dark Souls 1 lore before, because you meet Laurentius, and I think he can teach you Flash Sweat. So Carmina is very ancient, even by Dark Souls 1 standards. So, yeah. Intense sweating increases fire damage absorption. An influential pyromancy that internalizes flame, likely forming the foundation of many subsequent spells. Very interesting. Right.
Do not be gone for long. What is...
Yes, what is a teacher without its pupil? Right, let's sell all the consumable souls we have, and let's buy as much as we can.
Ah.
And when we talk to him again, we'll get a gesture.
Ashen one.
Yes, I will indeed bring you more souls. Please stop asking.
Ah, there I am.
And we get welcome. The poor man's well, what is it? Right, let's get the trousers. Let's get some fire surge going. That's what we can afford. Okay.
Do not be gone for long.
Do not be gone for long. Do not be gone for long.
Ah.
Right, let's just spend the rest of our souls so we don't lose them if we get killed by an invader. Right. We're going to need these purple moss clumps eventually, so we might as well start buying them now.
Ashen one.
Right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's call it a part here. And I will see you next time. So thank you very much.